Okay, let's begin. We're just going to shuffle, and as cards fly out, we'll put them down. I hope you're doing well. Today, or this evening, or night, whatever time you're watching. Often it's going to be night. Ooh. Okay. All right. We got our 3. Because this is a sleep tarot channel, but some people might just want to listen during the day as well. So, we're going to assign 3 fossils. I believe these 2 are both brachiopods, but if someone knows the correct terminology for a fossil like this, please feel free to say so in the comments. I think this is also a brachiopod, but I could be mistaken. And we have a spiral fossil here. I do not know the correct terminology for it. This helix fossil. Okay, so give you a moment to, let's move these a little bit more in the middle. Give you all a moment to choose your reading based on the fossil. Okay, let's reveal the cards. For our first reading, we have the helix fossil alongside 5 of Cups. For our second reading, with this almost like a boomerang fossil, we have the Hierophant. And for our final reading, our third reading, we have this fossil here, this shell fossil, alongside Judgment. Okay, so give you a quick moment to choose which reading you would like based on the cards and the item. And please keep in mind that this is a brand new channel, so any likes or subscribing has a profound impact on the success of this channel. So any interaction is greatly appreciated. Any likes or comments, and subscribing is very beneficial to this channel, as well as hitting the notification bell. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for your views and for your interactions with this channel. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, let's get on to reading number 1. Hello, reading number 1. You chose the 5 of Cups card alongside the helix fossil. Perhaps there's a hidden silver lining within this helix. Or there is something that, in this figure, the person is lamenting over the 3 fallen cups, the 3 spilled cups, but not even realizing there's 2 behind. So there's more opportunities available than this person realizes. In fact, there's even a castle in the distance. So there's quite a lot of opportunity here. It's just, this card signifies, sometimes when, it's not crying over spilled milk, but sometimes when something very disappointing happens, it's hard to see the good that's also there, not related to what happened, but just the good that's in life still. So let's begin shuffling, and we'll draw some cards. I hope you're doing well today. Group number 1. We're just gonna let a few of them pop out, and then like one that popped up. There we go. And then we'll draw the rest from the top. All right. Ooh, okay. That one seemed pretty prominent. Great. We have everything in frame. And And we will just cut and begin. Okay. Okay. The past cards are down. Upcoming cards are being drawn. Okay, we've drawn all the cards and we're ready to reveal them. Group number 1, in the present current position, we have 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords. Look at that. I'm going to move this for a second. Sense of disappointment. Look at both of these figures. You know, this is kind of part of the story where, as a hero on a journey, someone might come across a challenge, an initial challenge that they want to overcome, but they haven't learned everything necessary yet to overcome it. And this is a common event in many stories where the challenge presents itself halfway through the story. The real challenge presents itself, and now we have an opportunity for our heroes to learn what they need to in order to accomplish what they first attempted and failed to do. You know, to get to that castle, how do you cross the river? Maybe there's an adversary or an antagonist, someone blocking the path. What's going on? Maybe that person has more skills than this hero for now and isn't allowing the hero to pass. Hey, that's a very common story. Well, what does the hero have to do? He's got to think. In this case, he, because of the character, but this applies to anybody. The hero has to think. Okay, the underlying current position. The 10 of Swords. So this is really fascinating. Have you recently experienced a rather intense disappointment or an ending to something? I mean, here we have perhaps not attaining a goal and realizing like the path is going to have to go in a different direction, because this is a sign of an end of a cycle and this is a sign of a temporary setback. But both combined could be a setback that makes one realize the path has to go in a different direction first. Let's continue looking into the past. As above, so below. The Chariot is a card of movement, of connecting higher ideals to more physical ideals, physical world ideals, the spiritual with the 5 senses. The 8 of Cups. Interesting. 5 of Cups and 8 of Cups. These are very fascinating. Combining these with the Chariots kind of to the side. These 4 are signs of movement on, of disappointment in some ways, but of other opportunities, of decision to leave behind an old way of thinking or a no longer beneficial way of thinking to move on to a new path, to a new adventure. This is the end of a cycle. This is a setback. So there's some interesting cards here that, you know, are not necessarily ones that people look for or want, but are real aspects of people's lives, of journeys, of experiences. There was a new opportunity in some ways, at least in your mind, in the past. Perhaps you were making very good decisions for quite a bit. Where did the fossil go? Oh, there it is. Perhaps you're making very good decisions in the past, but I'll put the fossil here. And there was a new opportunity you felt, and you're going on that path, and you felt it aligned, but you experienced a setback that made you think perhaps you need to go a different direction. Because here we have a figure who is confident in their ability to make decisions, in their ability to lead. alongside an underlying sense of a new beginning in prosperity, a new possibility for prosperity. And here in the transition, the path towards the present, we have the decision to leave behind the 8 cups to move on for better and brighter pastures, aligning oneself spiritually with one's physical world. But then we have what looks like a setback, a moment of reflection, a need to consider, is this not the right cycle? Is this not the right path? Or is this just a clear sign that there is a new beginning? Because the Ten of Swords is a completion of a story, and then we have the new beginning coming after. The underlying position in the future, the Queen of Pentacles. Well, now the Pentacles are coming back into play. Underlying, death, a new beginning, a new beginning. See, death is like one of those scary cards, but it's actually just the beginning of something new. It's like the end of one day and the beginning of the other. I'm actually going to wait, before we draw the other two, I'm going to show a more traditional image of death in the tarot cards, so you can see what I'm talking about in the more traditional sense. You know, death has, you know, we have the scary aspects here, but what's actually happening is a dawn of a new day. Death is just bringing out the yesterday, and the new day's coming in. You see the 2 towers? The sun is coming through there. A new day's coming. So, these transition cards lead to the Hanged Man, a sense of feeling trapped in some ways, alongside the Lovers. Well, this is a fascinating story. Okay. So this is one of being on a path, choosing a path, having a setback, having to have a new perspective, a very new perspective, choosing a new path, and then almost like committing to love. One that the Hanged Man is an enlightened card, actually. The Hanged Man is a very fascinating symbol because the Hanged Man is tied up by one ankle over a branch, and he holds the string that keeps him attached to the branch in one of his hands. So he's dangling by his own choice. And see the halo or the light around the head signifying divinity, wisdom, patience. The Hanged Man can be like in the more negative aspects, can be a sense of feeling trapped or unable to move on from a situation. However, the Hanged Man is one of choice, of choosing to commit, and also being wise in when to let go. So applied to the Lovers, it's actually a rather healthy balance. It's one of commitment, but knowing it's your choice. Let's get some clarification here. So we're starting to use a smaller deck for a few videos. Perhaps we'll go back to the Golden Art Nouveau. Leave in the comments which cards you prefer for clarification, and I will definitely take those into consideration. So I'm actually just gonna probably shuffle a couple more times and then just draw. We're not gonna wait for anything to pop out. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, clarifying the 5 of Swords, 9 of Wands. And 7 of Wands, clarifying the underlying position. Standing your ground? Interesting. Perhaps this was... Have you had any debates with anyone about what decision making, like in an organization? Okay. Movement forward. You were moving fast in the past. The Magician, with a lot of capability. The Magician with the King of Swords. Knight of Swords underneath on clarifying the Chariot. So a lot of movement, fast movement into what looks like more stationary position. Like moving really fast and then an obstruction. Because look, you have the Nine of Wands that are all in a row, almost like a wall, and the figure's kind of standing his ground. You have that clarifying a card where someone is sitting, having dropped his swords, and having to ponder a situation, perhaps after a defeat. And then with the Ten of Swords, the figure has been down with the swords within his back, but then the clarification is Seven of Wands, someone standing their ground and defending their position. And that's in the current position. In the past position, we have a lot of movement. We have Knight of Swords clarifying the Chariot, a lot of movement. We have the Magician, a figure of capability, of many skills, of having everything one needs to manifest their desires. Alongside the Eight of Cups, which is a movement away from an old way of thinking and a decision to continue on in your own way. Wheel of Fortune, clarifying the Ace of Pentacles, perhaps some fortune or serendipity allowed oneself to see a path forward. And Five of Cups again, clarifying the King of Swords. Well, look at that. You chose the Five of Cups, and we got the Five of Cups right next to the Five of Cups. Look at the castle there. You want that castle, and there seems to be some setback here. But remember, the end of a story is a new beginning. Like, these are both that transition stage between you reach the end of a cycle and the start of a new. The clock points around to the 11, up back to the 12, an end of a story, back to the 1, a new story begins. Queen of Pentacles with the Four of Wands, a happy underlying moment, a realization of what one really wants. Clarifying the Death card, we have Three of Pentacles, reunion with friends. Perhaps you talked to friends recently, and perhaps did you meet up with friends and have kind of a clarifying moment, like a realization from having met with friends that you've had for a long time, anytime recently? A reunion of sorts. Clarifying the Hanged Man, we have the Five of Wands again. No, it's Seven of Wands. I'm sorry, did I say Five of Wands here? This is Seven of Wands. Five of Wands is a little bit more hectic, a little bit more everyone's kind of a free-for-all. Free-for-all. Clarifying the above position, Page of Cups with the Lovers. Perhaps a new relationship's coming around. Or perhaps you want to hold on to a relationship where someone might be, maybe there's a little jealousy, but you're strong. This seems like a relationship story at the end and more broad story in the beginning. Perhaps a position of your job is somewhat influencing your circle of friends or who you have time to see. That's very common. Do you have friends you wish you could see, but maybe they're a little farther away now because of work, or maybe you want, like, you're traveling too much and you're not able to see them, or you're just so busy you're not able to see them? Perhaps you want to spend a little more time not working to meet someone or a friend, like perhaps just a friend or a lover, a romantic interest. This feels like you've been working hard and diligently for a long time. You really have been. Maybe you might think to yourself, I haven't been working hard enough. It's like, well, don't beat yourself up, because life requires more than just work. And I think that might be the realization here. It's kind of letting go of just the focus on the work so that there can be a little bit of happiness. You know, with the Four of Wands, you have people celebrating. And look, the castle's back. The castle's back. The castle's here, the castle's here, and the castle's here. And we have the castle. You want the castle. You don't want to be fixated on the cups. You want that family, love, friendships. You know, sometimes when there's arguments, those are okay because arguments can get to the truth. Perhaps everyone needs to talk about how they feel, their issues they're having, what's bothering them, and they can feel like it's a fight between two people, but actually it's a quest to find truth. If it's done right. And if that's the case, then you can hold on to that situation a little bit more positively because, you know, when someone's arguing, they just need to communicate what it is that's bothering them. And if you come to an argument not from, I'm going to win this argument, but I'm going to find the best way we can both work together on this situation, an argument can actually be a very revealing, a revealing act. One that like reveals what's happening, what the underlying issue that can be addressed then. Because once you see it, you can actually find a path forward. Group number 1, I wish you the best. I look forward to hearing where you're going. And I wish, well, I can't wait to see you soon. Take care. Hello, group number 2. Reading number 2, you chose the Hierophant card alongside, I believe this is called a brachiopod fossil, but I am not exactly sure. If you know in the comments, please let me know. I like these combinations because it looks almost like it's a shell, obviously, but it has somewhat like of a wing, almost like a spaceship. And this Hierophant deck or card in this deck is a little different from traditional Hierophant cards, but you have this space. It's almost like in space. Looks like a spaceship to me. Almost like it almost has a Star Trek vibe. Alright. I'm going off on a tangent here, so we're going to begin. The Hierophant is symbol of tradition. We might read the Hierophant from the book, like the booklet that comes with this specific deck, because this is an interesting deck. It has a few unique characteristics. We're going to draw a few and see if any pop out. If they do, we will use those cards, or we'll place those cards. And if they don't, we will just begin drawing from, oh, okay. Group number 2. What kind of energy do you want? You get some, that's a, ooh, wow. You know what? We will let this happen. We'll go along with it. Okay. I feel like this one wants to be, no, let's keep going this way. Okay. We'll just draw from the top from here. I'll cut first. Okay. I hope you're doing well today, group number 2. That seems like there's something that wants to be said. We are just drawing the last few cards. Okay. We've drawn all the cards. Let's begin. In the current position, you are Queen of Pentacles. Intuition, creating a home, creating a safe environment, an abundant, safe environment, being confident in what you're creating. That's your desires, or perhaps what you're doing right now. Underlying with the Hanged Man, okay. That came out. Both of them came out in the last drawing. Maybe I should have shuffled a little more. Also, the way they popped out was kind of interesting. We have something new here. The Hermit, underlying in the past. The Chariot again. Ooh, perhaps I do need to shuffle more. Or maybe this is a similar reading, one of those situations where you might want to go back to reading number 1. Let's see what card we got here. Okay, something different. Good. King of Cups. King of Cups in the underlying position of the past. Underlying the devil. You know, I was thinking about the devil card earlier, and I was cleaning the house, and I had more to do, and I had like a milestone I wanted to reach. I wanted to get to a certain spot in the house before I took a break or did anything else. But I finished one task and I was like, I can sit down for like a moment, right? But then I thought, you know what, that's the exact kind of temptation that someone like the King of Cups actually would not allow themselves to fall for. Queen of Pentacles as well. You know, would definitely be in a traditional sense. The Hierophant would take a more strict approach and be like, no, there was an assigned goal. Let's reach that goal and then we take our break. You know, taking a break before can lead us astray off into a different direction, and we won't achieve our initial goal. So that's one thing that's kind of a thought for that. In the future position, we have Six of Cups, friendships, nostalgia, and the Empress. Ooh, okay. A lot of nature. Trusting intuition, nature, being in command, being abundant and creative. A lot of creative energy and protective energy. The Tower, underlying in the future position. The Four of Cups, you know, contemplating something. I like the Four of Cups. I like where the eye is. Can you see the eye? It's similar to Temperance. Can you spot it? Okay. Perhaps temptations are now being... This looks like someone who really has a command of oneself, and the temptations of the past are no longer affecting them. We have Queen of Pentacles in the current position, along with Hanged Man, which is wisdom, which is a wise card. A card of knowing when to let go and knowing when to hold on. Excuse me 1 second. Knowing when to hold on. We have friendships, creating safe environments, and the Empress, a character that would be very capable of creating a safe environment. The King of Cups in the past is someone of emotional stability. Perhaps having reached a certain mentality or certain emotional stability, one can leave behind this energy here and move on into a very abundant, a very safe, a very contemplative moment. It seems like there's a shock in the underlying position, some revelation, perhaps. This doesn't look like a negative situation, rather a revelation, a realization, kind of a eureka moment even. I'm going to take a moment to clarify, but I'm going to pause the video for now because I'm dog sitting, and I can tell from the jingle of the collar that dog is hungry, and we're going to feed him. He's a great dog. Love him. But we will be back in a second. Okay. So the dog is fed and happy, and let's continue this reading. It looks like this is a path towards happiness as well, although probably not related to dog food. So this is a relationship of stability, is of coming into a realization and being very, finding the light within oneself. I think that's a great path towards having the ability to create a stable and abundant place and being very creative. The Empress is like a lot of creativity, a lot of nature, emergence from nature, creativity. And the Hermit is the light within. The Hermit's holding in this figure the lantern, but the light is coming from within. The knowledge and wisdom is within oneself, like the Hanged Man. These are two very wise cards. We have like a path out. This is definitely, this is a symbol of like the origins of humanity. In some art paintings, this skull represents Adam, from like Adam and Eve. So perhaps leaving temptation towards being driven not by what once was needed to cope with, but by a vision of the future that will create a space where that situation no longer is necessary at all, where a situation to cope is no longer necessary at all, creating an environment where one can be just living life and being with friends and family. A revelation is coming in the future. I see this more so as one that perhaps you might meditate, or you might want to try to learn how to meditate to find insights into oneself. I can say meditation for me has been extremely beneficial. It's one that, I found if I practice it regularly, early in the day, the rest of the day is much more fluid and smooth. Everything flows by well. Life flows in a new way, in a more relaxed way after having meditated. Okay, let's continue on and let's clarify these cards with we're using this smaller deck today, and that just popped out. So typically when this pops out, I don't assign it anywhere, but I put it here as an energy that might be a more overarching theme. And actually it makes a lot of sense. It's the 10 of Pentacles. if you have this kind of energy here, you want to create this kind of environment, the 10 of Pentacles environment, a happy, abundant home. Look at the dogs. Yeah. Okay, let's just start drawing. I feel like I need to shuffle a little more, actually. And another one almost popped out, but we'll put that there. Okay. I didn't see it. Did you? Okay. And we'll cut. And draw 3 more. Okay. So, clarifying the current overt position, we have 3 of Swords. Very interesting. Okay. We have, underlying the position, the 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups has been, interestingly, very common lately. We have the Death card over the Hermit. We have Page of Wands over the Chariot. We have 8 of Swords over King of Cups. We have 9 of Pentacles over the Devil. We have Ace of Swords over 6 of Cups. We have 6 of Swords over Empress. We have the Empress again overlying the Tower. And we have 4 of Pentacles overlying 4 of Cups. Very interesting. I want to talk a little bit about 4 of Pentacles first. For me personally, I was thinking about 4 of Pentacles in a modern sense. It is a sense of frugality, of holding on to something that you don't want to let go of. But I've also seen it, like, especially in some of the other decks, it has a sense of almost like social media, like the way the figure is like positioned. It almost looks like how we kind of hunch over our phone. This is a little different, but I was just thinking about that, like social media and like kind of like the feeling of being locked in by social media. It's not necessarily, it's something that maybe being let go is the way to forward with. Clarifying the 8 of Cups on top of the Hanged Man is a very interesting dynamic. You can see this figure's walking away from 8 cups to go to, in the sky, an ideal goal, a new cup. And that ties in with the Chariot leaving the Devil, like, death being a new beginning, the sun's shining in the background. With the Hermit, maybe leaving old habits and creating ones that are more constructive, productive, creative, intuitive, and perhaps meditating. You have the Hanged Man and the Hermit and the 4 of Cups, a lot of meditation. 3 of Swords, I say this more as what once was. What once was is on the mind, and that's what you're walking from. Because feeling trapped, like being... Let's read the King of Cups. Let's just read the King of Cups and the Hierophant, actually. And then we'll move on. Let's start with the Hierophant. Here we stand at the gateway to our understanding, awareness, and what lies before us. With every nervous and unsteady step outside the veil, we move closer to a deeper exploration of ourselves and the world around us. We may seek externally on the quest for eternal knowledge, but we can also access the wisdom within. It takes time, dedication, devotion, and action to harmonize the dimensions we seek to traverse. Do you seek wisdom externally, or do you wish to align with spirit and create a more intimate relationship? Well, internally we have the Hermit and the Hanged Man. Exploration of ourselves and the world around us. Creating a more intimate relationship with spirit. Institutions, traditions, order, learning, religion, dedication, knowledge. Let's read King of Cups. Because I feel like King of Cups kind of almost feels like the wellspring of how this whole thing's moving. Like this is like the casting aside, but the wellspring coming from within towards the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. And then the Empress again in the Tower. That's so interesting. We'll get to that. Let's start with King of Cups. Okay. This king represents our emotional stability, our ability to unite our logical minds with our passionate hearts, take all things into consideration, and approach each situation with love, compassion, and patience. When this king is present, we have leveled up in our emotional states. We see things differently and approach things with love. We need to find balance and calm. There's no need to rush or feel overwhelmed. Yeah. Look at that. Casting aside the concept of devil, of procrastination, of habits that don't align with your goals and your emotional needs. You know, Eight of Swords is a fascinating card because it's one where the figure is always able to break out. They just need to open their eyes or take off the blindfold, and they'll see that they're actually not surrounded by so many swords. They can actually just walk away. King of Cups, finding that emotional stability and also aligning logic, and then moving forward quickly. Moving forward, aligning yourself, being patient, starting a new day. This is what was once there, and now it's not. You have the Three of Swords doesn't need to be. The Three of Swords doesn't need to trap you. You can cast it aside. This is what needs to be addressed. This was only covering up this. And now once this has been addressed, this has been healed. Moving on, you can move on to having like real confidence, a new beginning where there's friendships and stability. And you're coming into your own. You're going on a journey. And you're confident with it. The revelation, I think, might be that you have this energy within you, the Empress energy. And it doesn't matter male or female, it doesn't matter. It's not, the gender does not, it's more about the energies, it's not the gender itself. Here we have like the Empress of creative, abundant creativity through nature, through confidence, through connection to the world around us. Maybe the revelation is you have all this capability. And you can hold on to that. Letting go of the old habits. Letting go. Addressing what was driving those old habits. And then moving into one's, really powerful, empowered position. Really stable position with oneself. The revelation really is you are the Empress. You're embodying the Empress energy. And the King of Cups energy. Because the King of Cups kind of, sparked all this creativity. All right. Well, and actually, we'll just bring the Ten of Pentacles back. I hope you are able to create an environment that you love and that you desire, that is one of safety and abundance and security. And it's clear to me that you have that within you. So, group number 2, I wish you the best. I can't wait to see you soon. Take care. Greetings, reading 3, group number 3. You chose the Judgment card. Along with this brachiopod fossil, I believe that it's what it's called. It's a fascinating shell. If you know exactly what this is, please let us know in the comments. Alongside the Judgment card. Okay. So, let's begin shuffling. And if any of the cards pop out or stand out, we can use them in the reading, or place them in the reading, sorry. And if not, we'll just draw from the top. Okay. Well, that certainly looks like it stands out. What do you think? Okay. Okay. And let's keep shuffling. How are you doing today? Group number 3, reading number 3. Okay, we got 3. And then we'll draw the rest from the top. I hope your day has been wonderful. Or night, whatever time of day it is. Ooh. Okay. We're just going to draw from the top for the rest. We're drawing the past position cards right now. Now we're drawing the future position cards. Okay. And good, the last card's been drawn. And let's see your current position. The current position you are in is represented by the Fool. The Fool. This is the first time we've gotten the Fool in the first card position. That is the current first card position. This is going to be an exciting reading. I am excited. Let's continue. Underlying the Fool is the Knight of Swords. You're going on a journey. Group number 3, are you going on a journey? The past position, the Queen of Cups, the transition underlying. The Seven of Swords, interesting. In a hero's journey, which isn't the Fool's journey exactly, but there's many similarities, I would imagine the Seven of Swords being the antagonist character here. Let's continue. The past position underlying the King of Swords, and that is underlying in the past position the Four of Pentacles. You know, I actually just talked about the Four of Pentacles in another reading, and this card represents, it actually shows it much better. It shows it much better what I was trying to get at. I see the Four of Pentacles. I mean, the Four of Pentacles can mean many things, but it is often frugality, holding on, being kind of almost stingy. But this is a little different. I think this is, like, my interpretation in a more modern sense is the way that a lot of the figures with Four of Pentacles are positioned. It looks like they're almost looking at their phone or their tablet. And it can be, I think this represents kind of that sensation of, you know, when you're kind of on Netflix for a little too long, or maybe you've been scrolling on Instagram, you know, this kind of feels like you're holding on to that kind of seeking mentality that social media so often kind of inspires within us, or could use the term trigger, triggers within us, or incentivizes us to behave like that, where we're kind of holding, we're holding onto our phone kind of like this, That's kind of what I feel like with this card. Like, that's the energy I get from this card. It's kind of like, oh, it's like nighttime and you just got that screen on that's keeping you awake. You can flip the phone upside down and it blocks the light. Okay. You can still listen though. King of Swords, underlying, Four of Pentacles. Perhaps your subconscious knows what's best for you better than what you're consciously aware of in the present moment, or at least in the past, that would be. And that moves on to the Queen of Cups, with the Seven of Swords leading into the hero's journey, or the fool's journey. Well, this is the fool's journey, but the hero's journey is very similar. Okay, in the future positions. Ace of Swords came up here a bunch of times in the past few readings. It's so interesting. The Ace of Swords wants to be here. Interesting. Okay. Alongside Temperance. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck specifically. Look at that. Beautiful. And I really like, actually I mentioned Temperance in a few readings before as well, because I like where the eye is placed in this card. What was the other card where the eye is placed in a similar location? Can you see the eye? I really like that. A sense of wisdom is required for the proper patience, knowing when to be patient, knowing when to act. The Ace of Swords definitely knows when it's time to act. It's a new perspective. With the King of Pentacles underlying in the future, the final future position. Two of Swords, decision making, tough decision. You need to take off those blindfolds. Take a look around. Okay. Well, this is a new journey, but this is interesting. I mean, having the Fool in the middle means that this is kind of this was the culmination of an old period of time, of a past cycle. You're moving on to brighter things, being able to make harder decisions through experiences. And this is a fresh start, actually. This is a fresh start. Be patient, though, because, when you first start a car or you first start a plane, you're going to go a little slow, right? Like, as things go faster and faster and faster, you can pick up speed, but at first, it's going to take a little bit of time. Knight of Swords doesn't have that. It has some relation to that. Let's read that from Knight of Swords. Okay, the knight is impulsive, impatient, and fearless. They come barreling through and speak their minds to ensure everyone will hear them. This energy of excitement and controversy might appear slightly arrogant and over the top to the casual observer. There may be some unresolved anger or bitterness behind your statements to use such a loud platform. Stop and ask yourself if this is true. Use this sharp wit to move forward, but be mindful to keep the past in the past. Keep the past in the past. Seven of Swords. In the past. This is a bright new future. Let's clarify. We're using a smaller deck today. The Classic Tarot by Llewellyn. Llewellyn's Classic Tarot. Sorry, by Barbara Moore. Alright. I like this deck for clarification because you can still see the underlying cards. Okay. That's good enough. Maybe not. Actually, it's shuffled just right. Okay. Alright, let's go. Clarifying the Fool. I mean, starting a new beginning, but beginning of Six of Cups. Friendship, nostalgia, creating a home. Underlying, well, the Knight of Swords with the Magician. You know, the Magician's number, the second card in the deck. So we're going from the Fool to the Magician, having everything you need to manifest your desires and dreams. With the Knight of Swords, ready to just rush in brashly. Sometimes it's good to be patient. If you're, at first you might want to just rush in, but being patient with new beginnings is a good idea. Nine of Wands, clarifying the Queen of Cups, emotion, intuition. We have Queen of Pentacles, clarifying the Seven of Swords. Excuse me, my stomach's moving. The Lovers. In the past position. And the Hierophant. Wow. Okay. Some of you might have been in a very serious relationship in the past. Very serious. One that, was going towards what you'd imagine would be marriage of some sort, maybe. Perhaps it wasn't the right fit, and you realize that now, because you were holding on to it for fear of losing something, of losing the feeling that you had while you were with them. But perhaps you're ready to move on to a new start, have a new life, or a new position, or this could just be more of having had a past that had a lot of complications and judging from your past that you wanted to move on to something new. It doesn't have to be a relationship. Excuse me 1 second. Let's continue on. I'm not sure if this is about leaving a relationship, but rather maybe being ready to take on new responsibilities within a relationship. The High Priestess, clarifying the Ace of Swords, and Five of Swords clarifying Temperance. If you feel like there's setbacks, if you rush ahead, you might find the Five of Swords kind of energy where you'll find setbacks by moving a little too fast. Maybe this is just your rethinking how fast you want to move in a relationship. And you want the relationship to evolve into something even more stable and beautiful. You might have a relationship with someone, could be friendship, could be romantic, that really is something you want to develop more, and you want to get to know someone more. Maybe you want to get to know someone more and you want to take a little bit more time with getting to know them before you rush off into committing to something with them. Two of Wands, making that choice. There's Two of Wands, Two of Swords. It's a decision. There's a big decision coming up, perhaps, for you. Is there a big decision coming up for you? Group number 3. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure. Did someone invite you somewhere? Group number 3. Were you in a position where you wouldn't have gone in the past, but now you're considering you might want to? Take your time, be confident with yourself, be patient. You want to know intuitively that you have what it takes to do this next step. You want to be able to be confident that you can take this next step. But it is a beautiful new journey. And we have the Priestess here, above the Ace of Swords. Know why you're making decisions, but also trust your instinct and intuition. If you're going on an adventure, I wish you the best. Group number 3, this is going to be exciting. It's a new start. It's a fresh idea. It's something you've never done before. And it's exciting. Just be prepared. Be confident with yourself. Make the right calls, the right judgment calls. You will. You know yourself. You know your capabilities. Don't be too brash. Don't just rush in, but, take time to make this decision. Once you do, you'll be more confident and ready. Keep in mind what you need to prepare. Like, what do you need to prepare for? What skills are necessary? What skills and things do you need to collect before you go on this journey, before you go to before you accept the invitation? What do you need for yourself to feel confident? I mean, you have what it takes, but how do you feel? Trust your instinct. Ooh, dog barking and the phone ringing at the same time. I'm going to take that as a sign that we're going to end this reading now. But group number 3, I'm excited for you. I wish you the best on your new journey. And I can't wait to hear about it. Tell us all about it in the comments, please. And with that, thank you. Take care. I will see you soon. Goodbye.